Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 49 today and we are back for the Tudor Times and it's the festive period. We've got two big home games. Firstly, a fairly local one at home to 8th place Northampton and then at home to Portsmouth, one of the big boys that came down, but at the moment are struggling to find their way back up. If you're looking forward to it, seeing if we can keep our spot at the top of the division, we're running away with things and there's a man running away with all the stats. And it's exactly the man we expected it to be. If you want to see more of it, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. If you didn't see yesterday's head coach, check it out in the eye above. We brought up the half century in one hell of a fashion. And you'll want to see tomorrow's as well. It's a big one. It's a massive moment in the head coach save. One of the biggest you get in a year. There's also links in the eye above to the podcast channel, to the Twitch channel for regular live streams. And of course, I spent most of the weekend supporting FA Cup third round football. And you can find various bits of content across this channel and the football podcast for that too. But thank you as always for your incredible support as we come back 6 points clear at the top of the table. We've got a game in hand. We've just beaten two of our promotion rivals on the road, and Ricky J. Jones is tearing up the scorecards. Absolutely sublime. We didn't know, with the stats dropped in this save, whether he was going to be quite as good. Would the 2 or 3 years of crucial development time lost at Watford cost him? Not at all. Yes, it may take him a bit longer when we get up a league or two, but for now, we have got a superstar in the making. Him and Arthur Reed have been the star signings we wanted. And we've been able to rotate a little bit. We've been able to keep everyone fit. And we've still been able to go up towards the top of the division. We look like proper promotion contenders. We're 12 points clear of Grimsby in 4th. And now I've changed my aim a bit. Instead of looking at the top 7 and then hoping for the top 3, I'm looking at the top 3 and hoping for champions. If we finish lower than 3rd after this start and being here at the midway point, I'll consider it a failure. So let's go and have a look at the schedule for what's been happening since you were last with me, because you may have noticed from the top right of the screen, there was a little bit of symmetry to look forward to across the two saves, which we do like that sort of thing every now and then. Firstly though, you were with me for Wigan and Solihull Moors. We played 6 games off camera, it should have been 7, and we should have had some tired legs going into this one, but the Crawley game got postponed. It's moved to Wednesday the 6th of January, where it will proceed and take some of the legs away from our Bristol City FA Cup third round tie. A club that we've been managing, of course, in the head coach this year. A club we've had a brilliant story with. You can find that in the eye above. But what a surprise. What a nice little moment that will be. I worry, though, we're going to have to rest players because the league at this point, with the position we're in, has to become a priority. In the meantime, though, let's talk the 6 games we played off camera. It started okay. After the Solihull disappointment, you'll remember they came back from 2-0 late on in that one. We just about snuck a 2-1 victory against Bradford, and it was the exact opposite of the game we saw on camera. We were poor, we didn't really look a threat, but look who turned up to complete his brace in the 93rd minute. I was punching the air and everything else around it. It was a brilliant moment. Nearly 3,000 through the gate for that one as well, which was lovely, albeit a lot of those away fans. We then lost 1-0 at Northampton, today's opponents. Another part of the reason I wanted to show that one, because Colchester are in and around the top of the Division 2. A 5-1 victory at League 1 Chesterfield in the FA Cup second round. Now, they're still very much a struggling League 1 side. They're still down at the bottom, but 5-1 is an emphatic victory. It really is a signal of intent and shows that if we go up next year, we might not struggle as much as them. A hat-trick from you-know-who, Big Ricky on the scene again, with Will Swan and Macaulay Gillespie getting one apiece. A 1-0 victory, a bit more subdued at home to Gillingham, but an early Ricky J. Jones goal won us that one. A 2-1 victory away at Morecambe, a crucial game with them in the top 3. Javan Malcolm ending his goal drought with 2 goals. We came from behind, we got ahead, and we saw the game out pretty well in the end. A much more convincing win at Grimsby, again another side in that promotion push. Ricky J. Jones with 2, including a 92nd minute goal, Arthur Reed and Gareth McDonough, as all the action was in the last third of that game. One of the things I have noticed this year, and you will have noticed it just from those recaps, we are such a strong team towards the end of games. I know the Solihull one, maybe I made selection mistakes, we'd had the international duties and whatever else. But generally speaking, we come on so strong. And as long as Ricky's on the pitch, we're normally alright. If we can do the same against these two, and I'll say the same as the last episode, if we get 4 points, I'll be absolutely delighted over the festive break, and I'll quite happily say that we're promotion favourites. So let's go and see if we can do it. We start with a very big game at home to Northampton, one of the only sides that have beaten us in the league this year. Them, Salford and Bristol Rovers are in an elite club. We've not yet lost a home game though. We drew one last time out. Let's see if Northampton can prevent us winning again. Let's go through the lineup. We have had the week off now, so it's given us a chance to rest people. We've got a few slight selection dilemmas coming up though, and it may force action in the January transfer window. Not a huge amount, and nothing that will affect the first 11 too much. But our club captain Tristan Nydam is going on international duty. He's representing Zimbabwe at the African Nations Cup. He's a key member off the bench. He rotates into that midfield quite a bit, and he's not going to be available. So looking at the 3 games over the winter period, I'm almost tempted to bring him in. And I think we're going to do that today. I'm going to put Arthur Reed as the box-to-box, Nydam as the centre mid, and then the last game before the international break he goes is Colchester next weekend. So for that one, what I'll do is I'll bring him in as the number 10 and just give Will Swan a break. For now though, this is our 11 and 18. I am looking at the bench and thinking Owen Lloyd maybe could be replaced by Heath because we're stronger on the left than the right. So I might go and do that actually. But the rest of the team is as follows. We've got G-Cock in goal, still one of the best trainers every week, still improving on the attributes front, as you can see from the nice little arrows that don't often mean a lot, I accept. We've got McDonough and McGinley as the fullbacks with Farcarson alongside Brian Waugh as centre-half. Brian Waugh missed a few weeks from injury. Gillespie came in, didn't look like he'd been away. It was that good. Scott Egan's in the holding role, Reed and Nydam in the middle, and then Will Swan behind Jones and Malcolm up front. Malcolm back in scoring form. He is the joint second top scorer in the league, but he's getting outshone by Ricky. What a player we've got. And if we get that big offer for Javan Malcolm again, I'll be honest, I'll probably take it this window because Ricky is the only man we need. He's got 2.5 years left on his deal. He's not going anywhere. And we're going to go and get into this one because promotion is very much on the agenda. 5 changes for Northampton Town, and as well as some strong players going out of the squad, some very good players in as well. Freddie Ladapo up top, a brilliant player in real life. Xavier Simon's a good young player, obviously now well established, and the skipper there. Theo Archibald, a good wing up. We had him in the head coach FM19, I think. We might have had him in that Macclesfield series as well, in FM20. Really good player. Liam Roberts, a solid keeper. The likes of Galloway on the bench. He might well be off to the African nations in this save as well. And Joe Hardy, a goal scorer if they need him to. So let's go and get into it. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. And hopefully, doesn't matter if it's convincing or not, we can add another 3 points and edge closer to promotion at the top of the table. Well, after all the talking up, all the goals, it has been a silent half an hour. 1 shot on target in the whole match. I did say we're better towards the end of the game though, so maybe we're just wearing them down. But I think we're going to get through the whole first half without a highlight. What a way to talk up potential champions, eh? I guess we haven't conceded, we can't lose the game. But that wasn't good enough. Let's try and get a bit more in the second half. Hopefully Nydam can deliver. It's been one of the worst players on the pitch. We might have to think about changes because this hasn't gone well. Northampton no mugs. They're chasing the playoffs, as are Portsmouth, our next opponents. And we have got to think of that game in 3 days' time too. Swan is struggling a bit in the number 10 role. So I'm going to try and force a change. He's nervous. We'll push Nydam up. We'll bring our first choice midfield duo back in. And then Egan struggling with aggression. We've got a couple at the back not doing too well. And Ricky's had a poor game, but I'm not taking that risk. We are going to take off Javan Malcolm for Stuart Parry. And we're going to take off McDonough for Heath because McDonough needs to be fit on Tuesday. Let's see if in the last quarter we can finally get something to give us a cheer. We are going to demand a bit more from the lads as McGinley gets it a left back. We've got a highlight. 18 minutes to go in a driving rain as Egan chips it up. Nydam's in. Defender makes a mistake positionally. And Nydam makes a mistake with his finish. He really should have put that away. But it doesn't count. It's over the bar. It's 12 minutes to go. And the first great chance of the game has been wasted. And now it's Northampton at the other end. Are they going to do the double over us? Hardy off the bench to the byline. Back to O'Brien. He gets it into Hardy again. To the back post to Archibald. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. The week off is going to harm us. We're going to go attacking. We're going to berate them. But this is not the way we wanted to start. It's only against Northampton we look dodgy all the time. As Egan comes out, can we keep that unbeaten home record? You feel it's big psychologically. Even if we can nick a late point, get Ricky in behind, it might make the difference. But I'm not sure if we've had a worse performance than this year. As McGinley finds Nydam, is there a chance to come? Alidor Hamilton off the bench, should be fresh to Egan, up to Parry, puts it in past the keeper. I waited for the flag, but he got caught in no man's land. He tried to anticipate. And that's the difference here. We've said it a couple of times this season. We said it when Daly was starring in the last episode. We have got 4 strikers who can make a difference. And Parry hasn't done it that much this year, but he has now. As Ricky J. Jones in. Oh, keeper. Almost caught out. He's forced wide. Into Parry again. Blocked on the line. Back to Heath. We nearly nick it in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Northampton clinging on. And I tell you what, we've got an attacking threat. Never say never with this side. As Egan nicks it again into the 5th added minute. Plays a 1-2 with Reed. And again the game's come to life in the latter stages. Farcarson finds Egan. Up towards Parry, but it's headed away. And I think that will probably be the end of the excitement for us. Unless Northampton break here, it could be a very disturbing finish. But you can see from this why we're so strong in the last 5 or 10 minutes in most games. So many stoppage time goals. So many tired legs getting caught by the pace in behind. But now it's Northampton who have settled on the ball and want to create one more chance themselves. Hardy back to O'Brien and Gilligan. It's really nice football, but not really got an end goal at the minute. It's found up to Walker though. It's lovely stuff. Simmons is in. The keeper's caught. Oh, it's happened to us. That's 2 episodes in a row. We've been caught by a last minute goal. And it was after we'd scored a late one ourselves, but we're playing good sides. We've tried to go and nick it. And going attacking has cost us because Northampton, it was a pretty even game. It wasn't a great display from us. And you saw a rare Ricky J. Jones poor performance. I'm going to tell the lads we're not happy. Don't know why they're demotivated because they wasted chances. And then we'll be back in a minute to face Pompey. Fitness test time. The moment of truth as we find out how many players will make it after the game 3 days ago. And realistically, we've got to get points in this one. We cannot start back-to-back wins at this stage of the season. It could really cause us some trouble. They're recommending 8 changes, which is never a good sign. And this Pompey side is full of quality. It had a poor start, but it will bounce back. Nydam is not fit. He will drop out for Hamilton, who is a first-choice player anyway. Left back is going to be a straight swap between McGinley and the lone player Owen Lloyd. At centre-half, we're looking at Brandon Bryan Moore dropping out for Gillespie. And then into midfield, we've got Arthur Reed, Scott Egan both struggling, but I think we're going to have to start them. The problem is, the 2 players I'd want to bring in can't both be on the bench because of the loan situation. So we're going to have to bring on either Ryan Joseph or Lewis Brunt, who leaves the club on New Year's Day. So maybe it's the perfect time to bring him in. There's no repercussions of him coming on the pitch today. So he'll replace DJ Heath. Nydam will be replaced by Joseph on the bench. And I think that's the best we can do. 2 slightly tired legs left in the side. But we'll take out Reed at the weekend. We'll take out Egan if we need to. We just need to get through this one. Can we pick up a result against a Pompey side that should also be knackered from Boxing Day? And more importantly, can we stop the rot? Because a 2-game losing streak by this club standards this season would be a massive crisis. Certainly get me worrying. And maybe this is where we start to see the slight difference in squad depth. We've made 3 changes. We've had to take a risk on a couple of slightly tired ones. No trouble for Pompey. They've made 7. And they've brought in the likes of Yandanda, Reece Healy, Robbie Gotts, Ben Purrington. Players that we probably couldn't afford the wages of. I mean, the ones that have come out are even stronger. The likes of Cyrus Christie, Terrell Thomas, George Grant, Harness, White. They're all top class. But this is going to be a very difficult test. Pompey, earlier in the season, looked disjointed. They were struggling, as Wigan still are in this save. But they've bounced back with aplomb. Now 1 point off the playoffs. And if they win this, they'll be eyeing up 2nd and 3rd too. We've got an early throw on the left-hand side though. Lloyd crosses in. Dander heads away under no pressure. Farcarson picks it up on halfway. He goes down the line to Hamilton. He should be the freshest of the midfielders. Plays back to McDonough. Centre-half's very advanced here, but we're not really creating an opening, and in the end we're forced all the way back to the keeper, which isn't what we wanted at all. Gillespie can work left to Reed though, to Swan, to Malcolm. There's plenty of players up, but we're being forced into central areas. Hamilton shoots just over the bar. We've not quite got that space in the middle that we have against some other sides. They're defending the narrow areas really well, Pompey. We were forced from distance. Now we've got to be strong from set pieces as Danda into Lindsay. It's a free header. We get away with it. It's absolutely awful. Should be a big attendance again because the away fans will come in numbers. As we're back down the right with McDonough to Ricky J. Jones. Gone very quiet in this episode. Don't let him go on one of those 5-game streaks again. Because he only scored a couple of games ago and it'll be a painful week. Probably ending in an FA Cup exit. As it's out to Lloyd on the left-hand side. Wouldn't mind a chance here to Malcolm. Swans in support. Goes for the shot. Good save by Allsop. Tip wide at a post. I didn't even notice the keeper. Is that the Allsop? The one we had at Derby in the Championship on Twitch? I think it might be. As Reed puts the corner in. To the back post. Egan nods down. Malcolm can't get to the second ball. Hamilton recycles though. Out to Reed, his fellow centre midfielder. But it doesn't lead to anything. It peters out. And it is Ryan Allsop. Still only 34. Some of the players they've got in League 2. Todd Kane's there as well. It's ridiculous. What a side. As Pompey take the goal kick, Egan gets it. We're competing with them though as Malcolm releases Ricky J. Jones. Oh, he doesn't do that very often. That finish has me very worried. We've had 11 shots in this first half, only hit the target once. And you know it's written in the stars when Pompey get a free kick in this position. Don't let it happen. Why are you ruining my Christmas period? It's a brilliant shot, just over the bar. And Ricky J. Jones is losing form at the all-important time. G-Cock takes a short goal kick. Can we build from the back? Can Javan Malcolm become the hero today? So often the case last season. It's time for him to step up. Get a couple of goals. Get himself worth $500,000. Get that big move. And get us a big sell-on clause as Lloyd comes forward over halfway. Got support from Malcolm and a couple of the midfielders. Given to Arthur Reed. Up towards Malcolm. Thompson, the skipper, should get there first. Back to Allsop. To Purrington. They're playing out well here, Pompey. It's up to Healy on halfway. He gives it to Lindsay. Ricky J. Jones nicks it. Exceptional work. Alador Hamilton. He might not be playing well in front of goal, Ricky, but he's working his backside off to get into form. McDonough on the right. To Hamilton. We're keeping it well, but we're not really opening the door. We're not unlocking the defence, though. Jones crosses there. And if you're not in great goal-scoring form, well then just put a cross in instead. Lay it on a plate for your fellow attackers. And we said this in the last episode when he scored in both games. Will Swan only scores important goals. And when he scores, you know you're not going to lose. Pompey have had no shots on target. Will Swan has had the all-important one for us. And it's Hemel Hempstead Town 1, Pompey 0. Though Pompey straight on the front foot in the second half with Lindsay. Healy up there as well, a massive threat. It's back to Todd Kane and Brown. Into Lindsay again to Gotts. Such a class side, considering the changes they've made. And he's into him again on the edge. Jan Danda does 2 of them. It's a great save by G-Cock. Brilliant goalkeeping. And we're clinging on. Not the start to the half we wanted. Pompey have their first shot on goal. And it's another corner kick for the visitors. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Farcarson heads away well. It's going to go back out wide, is it? No. Purrington to Danda. Oh, we got all out of shape there for a minute. Thankfully, it hits the woodwork and goes away. But with just about an hour on the clock, we've got to have a little think here. What are we going to do? I'm going to bring on Graham Park for Arthur Reed, who looks absolutely shattered. So Park's better in a defensive role, but we're not going to do that just yet. Lewis Brunt is going to come on because it's going to be his last moment for the club. He's off to Swindon. He's done really well for us, to be fair. 89 league appearances. He'll get to a round number in 90. And don't forget, he was the one who scored that big goal in the playoffs in the National League. And look at him now, making an appearance for the top side in League 2. And then we've got one more change left. It's probably got to be Ricky, but I'm going to leave it for 5 more minutes. 1-0 Hemel Hempstead. Can we cling on? But we've got a corner kick with Swan, and it might get a whole lot easier. Lindsay loses out in the air, but still manages to get to the second ball and clear. Alador Hamilton down the right, though, recovers it well. That's the fresh legs talking there. And he's headed away as far as Lloyd at left back. Another one of those fresh players who didn't start on Boxing Day. Wasn't even in the squad. To Brunt on his final appearance. To Lloyd again. Playing a nice 1-2 there to Park. Delivers in. It's a brilliant ball. Jones can't quite win the header. And it's out as far as McDonough. We are all over them at the minute. We've got them penned in and we've got to make it count. Hamilton crosses to Javan Malcolm. He heads just over the bar. Oh, that had to be 2-0. That had to be the goal. We've had 17 shots, but we've not hit the target much. As McDonough's got another throw by the corner flag to Brunt, who looks brilliant. Back to Lloyd on the edge. Jones blocks his own man shot. Lloyd gets there the second time, no. And it all works out in the end. Ricky J. Jones given a second assist of the day. And Lloyd has scored his first goal, I think, for the club. What a moment that is. A brilliant, brilliant comeback performance. And we deserve every bit of this lead, as Jones will be replaced by Parry again. We'll switch Malcolm to the right side of the front two. It's no goals in the episode for Ricky J. Jones, but 2 crucial assists and a really good performance up there. Can we hold on though with 12 to go? We were in this position against Solihull, against a very good team. And when they came at us, we couldn't cope. We've got a very tired defence. G-Cock's having to do the business. They brought on all the big guns going forward off the bench. But our keeper is holding firm. Can we do so from set pieces though? This is the big important bit. Danda delivers across. White with a free header. Really good save, Zach G-Cock. There's options in defence. But quite sensibly, he just chooses to hold on to it for a minute. 5 to go. Tempted to get the time wasting on because we're getting caught out at the back here. Like Carson wins one to Malcolm and Swan. Can we put it beyond doubt? Parry to Malcolm. Got an overlap from McDonough. Don't really want to make him too tired at the minute. To Malcolm. To Swan. Really good football. To Parry. To Malcolm. In one-on-one. Javan Malcolm scores. It is game over. Parry is a brilliant game changer. Goal off the bench last game. Assist off the bench this game. And Javan Malcolm does take his moment in the limelight. Hemel Hempstead Town 3, Pompey 0. And that brief moment of panic from the Northampton game is certainly well and truly gone now. A brilliant display. We might well concede here. But we're back in form at the top of League 2. And we're definitely going to get promoted. We'll still have the odd day where we don't get the goal. We'll still have the odd day where we're not brilliant. But we're a good side. We're a League 1 side. And that's where we're going to be next season. I do have a slight worry. We've had a few complaints about what position Lloyd's playing, what duty certain people are playing in, how much football DJ Heath's getting. Are we going to lose 2 or 3 of those loan players in the January window? But with Nydam going on international duty, maybe that's all we need this year. Instead of looking for players to save us, we just need 1 or 2 loan players to tick us over. And that's a nice position to be in. Big kick from Allsop for Pompey. Gillespie heads away. Been really solid back there, replacing Brian Moore today. Parry gets it upfield to Malcolm. Can he make it 4? He's forced a bit wide. Delivers to the back post though. Parry again. We've got 4 in the box here. Last minute of the game. And it's a corner kick for Hemel. What a way to finish. It'll be taken as an in-swinging delivery. Swan to the back post. Brunt heads over. Oh, what a finish that would have been to his Hemel Hempstead career. He's off to the National League, but he's contributed to a big moment in his title race. And that will guarantee him his medal at the end of the season if we do go on to win it. A wonderful performance, bounce back ability personified. Hemel 3, Pompey 0. Promotion, here we come. There's the table after 25 games. The gap is back to 12 points because Grimsby have been beaten 2-0 at Wigan, a rejuvenated Wigan, who are pulling their way back up the table. And all we've got to ask really now, is it us or Morecambe who are going to win the title? That should go to the wire. The rest of it, going to be very comfortable, you'd imagine. But January can do funny things, and we will be back for deadline day, I'd imagine, with just 1 or 2 signings to freshen up the squad. So if we have a look at that schedule, the last game of January is planned to be Salford, followed by Port Vale at the start of February. Of course, it could be changed if we beat our head coach side at Bristol City in the 3rd round. I think that's pretty unlikely because we will more than likely have to rest a few for that one. But Salford are currently 12th, Port Vale in 5th. So I think as long as it stays the same as that, we'll do transfer deadline day and Port Vale next time. If you're looking forward to the rest of the season and you did enjoy this episode, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the season and make sure you don't miss a thing, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Let me know in the comments if you think we're going to beat Morecambe to the title. As I mentioned earlier, the head coach is really hotting up and we brought up the half century in style yesterday. I'll put that episode up there if you missed it. Please do make sure you check it out before tomorrow. And of course, you can also find some of my live proper Football FA Cup content of the weekend from here and over on the podcast channel. And there's also the live streams on Twitch. You can find all the links you need up there. But thank you so much for watching as always. I hope you're looking forward to a promotion party because I don't think it's too far away. Hemel Hempstead Town, if we get through January with our squad intact, we've got one hell of a chance. I'll see you next time to find out if we can do it.